the $1,000,000 question.
Yeah.
What pieces of advice or what maybe did the show open your eyes to the previous times you were on that helped you get to where you're at now?
I think letting a man lead you is huge. I, for a long time, was kind of in this mindset of like, I have to have equal control in the relationship, and I'm just as accountable as he is, and I'm like making plans. That was really exhausting. And so once I sort of let that go and I started to trust in him more to lead and be the I don't know what word I'm looking for, but once I started to like let that go, and I started to be a lot happier, and it was better for my relationship. And that's what he wanted also. He was like, I don't want to have a wife that's like competing with me and just like tearing me down. Like, we need to have these complementary roles and not competitive roles. So that was a change in myself. That was why I was interested in this whole podcast to begin with, or this whole Unplugged Alpha thing to begin with. It was like, oh, this is interesting. Like, they value women who don't just want to like take in charge. They actually want them to let men lead and let that kind of flourish the relationship. That was a huge change from what I had.
Is this something you saw with guys even before this one? That when you kind of relinquish some of that control, it's kind of some of that, being in your masculine, that guys like would naturally kind of latch onto that void and start filling it?
Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. I thought it was a little frustrating for me when I wanted them to do that and they didn't. And then I felt like, well, now I have to step up and do ABC because you're not doing it. That wasn't conducive to a good relationship in my experience. So yeah, I think I've had both.
Gotcha. Spence, is that Aaron's mic?
I think it's Aaron's mic. Aaron, so I think
Aaron
I'm not sure where your mic is, but if your mic's on that cord, I think it may be rubbing against your hair.
Yeah, just pull your hair back.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's probably gonna be
Hopefully
better.
that'll be
That's
better.
what I was thinking it was.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you'll have to keep us updated and come back on the podcast again at the end of the year and let us know how the 6-month engagements plan out as time goes on.
I will. I'll have an update ready for you.
So Hala, backstage, you said something really interesting. You said you read Rich's book, The Unplugged Alpha.
Yeah.
And you also said you didn't find much wrong with it. You agreed with a lot of it, right?
I do agree with a lot of it. I think had it not been for family law here in the US, I would agree with I am Rich is against marriage almost, and I am with marriage, but because of the way some people get burned with family law, that would be the only way I disagree with him on that one point. And on the point of seeing other people when you're married, I do not agree with that. But everything else, I fully agree. I fully agree on entering the frame of a man. That's the best way to be happy in a marriage. And the man being super alpha, keeping his frame, him having the majority of big life decisions. It's amazing to have a life like that.
So
what did you mean about? Sorry, I wanted to know what did you mean about family law with where you live?
Where we live here in the US, like because I come from a different culture, so over there almost every marriage has a prenup. This is just how it is, and then if someone gets divorced, then the man and his family raise the kids, so that because the kids are the man's children, and which means no other man has to raise someone else's kids. And then the woman is free, and there's not much stigma because she's literally free to remarry if she wants. And there is no, and of course she sees the kids until a certain age, until the kids are like 13 or something, then the kids can be anywhere because they don't need that much effort. But in that sense, I can see how here it's very problematic and turns a lot of men off from marriage. So in the prenup is is very nice that every marriage has a prenup.
So basically what you're saying is you disagree that smart men don't marry, but you understand why
Correct.
that's the case in the West, like why that's better advice for men in the West, right?
That I think that is one big reason why a lot of men here do not marry, and I think there's a lot of modern feminism that really ruined a lot of relationships here and made women not have children early on in life, which is very important. And it's as if the career is more important than the family. So that's another thing that's really messed up here. And I mean, I am a professor, but when I was finishing my PhD and I was pregnant with my child, so I was a student. I didn't even go to my PhD graduation. You'd think it's the most accomplishment, but for me, the most accomplishment is me having my baby. So, and then I thought I want to raise my own baby. I can think about my career when she's older, when I've given her everything. And then I was writing books and stuff because I have time now. She's older. So all of that, I mean, I got yelled at very hard in the street by a feminist woman why I was pregnant at that age and having my child, because I'm like, I'm in my 20s. When will I get pregnant if I'm not pregnant now? It didn't make any sense to me. So in my opinion, these two things made relationships in the US not become marriage, not last long. There's a lot, yeah.
So do you think, you're from Lebanon, do you think like the way that people have relationships there is a better framework?
I think relationship there, yeah, I think so. I think it's women are feminine, and there is no relationship like the man meets the family, and you cannot just date the girl. You know, you have to meet her father, her brother, and pass that test. And even when I met my husband here, I sent his pictures to my brother and all that. I think it's important. I think they are definitely happier, very happy homes. And even if you divorce, it's not the end of the world, in the sense that, I mean, it's rare to divorce there, but even if you do, there's still some setup that there is no fighting. The divorce takes like 2 months and you're done. It's not like here years and trauma and money and everybody loses their wealth. It's terrible.
So nothing else in the book really, other than, you know, men wanting to exercise variety, which I hope we don't go down the rabbit hole tonight again. Nothing else in the book gives you pause, huh?
No, I think it's I think the alpha is something that a lot of women need.
What about tattoos as a red flag?
I have to. I think.
She's like, I can't agree with that. I have tattoos.
This is in my culture, you know. It's the women have that in henna, and I just put it on because. So it depends on the culture. I think too many is covering all your skin is terrible. I think some cultures, the women put like 3 on their face this way. It depends. So for me, this is part of my culture, but definitely not too much. I
just saw him, so I figured I'd ask. That's usually, like, I've found that women that agree with a lot of the book that have tattoos, they always have an issue with that, though. They're like, yeah, but I don't understand the tattoos. Like, why is it a red flag?
I can see it ruining. I can see it ruining how it's not very feminine.
All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here, where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.